Alright guys, in this video I'm going to cover the Google Sandbox. What the Google Sandbox is it real, how long does it last, and what you can do about it. So if you've been in the SEO space, you've probably heard about the Google Sandbox, which is this thing that in theory means that new websites can't rank immediately on page one. So the idea behind this is that Google puts new websites through, let's say, a testing period that means that they can't just jump straight to page one on Google. Now, if you think about it, that kind of makes sense because Google probably does not want to rank a brand new website that it's not sure what's on it and how users behave on it, so therefore it probably won't just put whatever you make straight to page one. Now, there is a debate as to whether this actually exists or not. In my personal experience, I've seen this similar pattern play out with pretty much every website, so I'm going to show you an example of exactly that happened with a site I've been working on recently. So I would say that the assessment is that the sandbox is relatively real, at least in some form. So the most common thing that people refer to the sandbox being is when you try and rank a new website, even for keywords with very low competition, what will happen is the site still won't rank. Now, if you had a site that was more established and you wrote an article about one of these keywords, it would probably go straight to page one or number one even. And so that's why people call it the sandbox, because what you should usually rank for doesn't rank on a new site, and there's not really any other explanation. Now, what will typically happen is after a couple of months of the site, being in the sandbox as it were, the site will begin to rank for all those keywords and other more difficult keywords, which is when people say that the site is now out of the sandbox and is behaving as it normally would. So how long does the sandbox usually last? So typically speaking, it's around 3 to 6 months if you have done everything else correctly up to this point. You haven't made any mistakes with SEO or got some bad links or something like that. Now, I'm going to show you an example of a website that I've been working on that's played out pretty much exactly like this. So this is a site that I've been working on for a couple months. This is showing the last 3 months. I've been working on it for about 4 or 5. And you can see here that in the last 3 months, basically it's been flatlining. And then what happened here is you can just see a sudden bang up after like 3 months. And this is a pretty standard pattern I've seen across many websites do the exact same thing, where you release a website, you start publishing content of it, it goes nowhere for ages, as you can see here, and then suddenly it just goes bang and it shoots up. There was a very similar pattern with my blog that I made a video about previously. This one was a little bit more subtle, but you can still see the same thing again, where I started blogging on it in November. It was getting pretty much nothing, and then it quickly started ramping up afterwards. So this is a slightly slower approach, but this is within about a 7-month period. So you can see here there's a couple of big spikes, especially here right around the 6-month mark. You can see where it started creeping up and then it went bang and it shot up here. So this is another example of seeing this same thing play out, and I've seen this across multiple websites. So are there actually any ways to speed up the sandbox process? So there are actually ways that you can speed this up and try and get your website to show up faster than waiting the 6-month period. So typically speaking, what you first want to do is go after all the low competition keywords to try and get traffic and rank faster than if you try to go for competitive ones, because what will happen is then you'll start ranking for the lower ones. You'll start to put you into the higher tier of traffic to show you for more keywords and then go along that way. Whereas if you try and rank for like the hardest main keyword, you're probably going to be waiting a very long time for that. Now, the next thing is you can actually build backlinks and as a result trust to your website, which can help speed up Google's trust in your website and then get you to rank faster, because you're getting votes of confidence, as it were, from all these other websites saying that your website is legitimate, so Google's more likely to rank it. Now, another thing you can do is establish topical authority quickly by releasing a ton of content right at the beginning, at the launch of the site, as opposed to writing it over time and then waiting for it to happen. So if we take a look at that graph I just showed you, this one was a gradual graph, because what I did here was I was posting one blog a day for about 5 months. If I had posted I think there's about 250 blogs on that site. If I had posted all 250 at once, right here at the beginning, this process would have been a lot faster. And the reason why is because it wouldn't have taken this long for it to build up indexing of each of these posts, because let's say I posted like after 30 days, then it takes a while for those 30 to get indexed. Meanwhile, I'm posting the next 30, and then so on and so on. If I'd posted all 250 at the beginning, we probably would have seen a flat line and then a sharp increase when all of them got indexed and then started ranking. So that's one way you can make that faster as well. So that, let's say, even if you're waiting a 3-month period or a 6-month period, at the end of that 6 months, it's going to be a much faster, bigger spike than if you had waited and played it out gradually over time. Now, another thing you can do is actually do 301 301 redirects from domains that have backlinks and some authority. If you can purchase these domains, or you have them, and you redirect them to your new site, that's going to help to speed things up and establish the new site with the backlinks of these 301 redirected domains, which will help you with this. And another option you have is to build the website on an aged domain. So instead of getting a brand new domain that's had no history on it, you can buy an aged domain that has had something on it previously, and that actually helps to speed this up. So there are some vendors that you can use. For instance, you can use Otis. I'm going to put my link below for this if you want to check these guys out. And basically you can buy domains from them, and you can browse their selection of domains in various niches. So obviously you want to get one that's related to your niche, but basically you can sign up here for free, and then you can browse their inventory and take a look at all the different websites they have in the niche that's relevant to you. And then you can buy that domain and then start posting on that domain, and that's going to help speed that up as well because it's already established. So that's basically the basics of the Google Sandbox. There's obviously a lot more to this, but this is the foundation of what you need to know when we're talking about it. And then if you do these things, you can speed up your new website's progress to rank on Google. So if you guys have any questions about that, post them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed this one. If you'd like me to coach you on how to do SEO and Google ads for only $49 a month, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you'd like us to do the SEO or Google ads for your site, go to dominatemarketing.io and book a call with us there. Catch you on the next one.